goes on, and in our situation, I don't think nothing dramatic's going to happen. The only thing that I guess we're sorry for is that mainly that he wasn't brought back to justice, and that he could tell us where our father's grave is, so at least we could have a funeral.
It's now almost 10 years since Donald Mackay disappeared from the car park of the Griffith Hotel. He was murdered under instructions from the locally based mafia group, The Family. Trimboli organised the killing. With Trimboli dead, there's now little chance of ever knowing what really happened to Don Mackay back on July the 15th, 1977.
How difficult has it been not knowing exactly what happened to your father and where he is?
It's been pretty difficult, and for the Trimboli family too. They've lost their father. They know he's dead. They've had a funeral. They know where he is, and that at least is some comfort to them. We have no idea where he is. We've had no funeral. We don't know any resting place. It's still a little bit up in the air for us.
Do you ever doubt that Trimboli organised your father's death?
No, none whatsoever.
Why can you be so sure?
Well, it's been gone over in Royal Commission, in 3 Royal Commissions. I guess they got it from 3 of them who reached the same conclusion. They must have got it right.
Do you blame him for your father's death, or the men that allegedly asked him to organise it?
I don't think anyone asked him to organise it. I think he organised it.
He wanted to do it and he saw it through?
Yeah, I think so.
You believe it was on his initiative?
Yes. He was a cold-blooded murderer. He was a heroin dealer, a heroin pusher, ruined thousands or hundreds of lives. To me, he was one of the lowest people around, and of course, if we ever come face to face, I can't say what I would have done, but again, that's changed now. He's dead.
Is life going to be easier to cope with now that Trimboli is dead?
No, like I say, I don't think life won't be any different for us at all.
How difficult have the last 10 years been?
It's been sad. I guess I've always felt sad that we were denied, again, I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure my sisters would feel, and brother would feel the same way, that we're sad that we were denied the pleasure of having our father see us graduating from school, getting married, seeing his grandchildren, all those things that you enjoy.
Do you ever feel that perhaps your father died in vain because Trimboli was never brought back to justice?
No, not really. I think from my father's death particularly made the country more aware of the drug situation in Australia and in Griffith. If what happened hadn't happened, the situation would have had no media attention. I don't think we would have had any royal commissions. I don't think we'd have a National Crime Authority. From a personal point of view, we all wish he was still here.
Do you feel cheated that Trimboli was never brought to justice?
No, not really. I guess I couldn't say we haven't been cheated, or we have in a way, but I guess he's got his justice now.
Paul Mackay, the son of anti-drugs campaigner, the late Donald Mackay, who was murdered 10 years ago. An amazing situation. They're all living in the same town. The head of one family had the head of another family done away with. And the Mackays have shown tremendous strength over the last 10 years, staying on in the town, the family continuing the business that Donald Mackay suddenly left behind. And I guess it could be another decade before the stigma hanging over Griffith can be exorcised. More in a moment.
was planned, it was evil and deliberate as sin.
Can her sins be forgiven?
I'm all the strength you'll need, I promise.
Can this murder go unpunished?
Can't prove a thing, Lorna.
Can the people of Kansas allow this man and woman to go free?
Tom Bird is a man of God.
Well, I hope you're ready to go to jail for God.
I didn't kill anybody. Then who did?
Bridgestone and Singapore Airlines present Murder Ordained. Starts Wednesday, continues Thursday.
The AIM Explorer. When we asked some Australians to try it, 67% said the Explorer was better than their old toothbrush.
Because it explores the back of your teeth where no other toothbrushes have ever seen before.
Nice grip, nice feel, and it has a nice balance to it.
And I really feel as if I've cleaned my teeth properly when I put the brush back in the cupboard.
Oh, yes, I'd definitely buy that one now.
The AIM Explorer. Try it for yourself and see how good it really is.
How can we afford a house?
Have we even got enough for a deposit?
If you think you can't afford to buy a house, talk to Advance Bank. We can lend you as much as 95% of the value of your new home.
Fantastic. Oh, the sofa will look just great over here.
Hey, look at my room.
Call 212-0900 if you're interested in home loans of up to 95%. Advance Bank Home Loans.
We kept you up with the people trying to silence MI5 agent Peter Wright. And we kept you up with the executive salary explosion. We also kept you up with government cuts and what effect they could have. So to continue to keep up, make sure you keep up with the Times on Sunday.
Laser splits, style and fit. Color here, color there. Spirit razor, colored laser. It's the brightest laser. Laser splits will be instant hits. Laser the amazer. Extra value, extra style puts laser splits ahead a mile. Laser splits, it's the one. Laser splits, style and fun. Laser splits.
It's a limited edition, so see your Ford dealer soon.
Welcome back. Most fishermen and women have their favourite spot, somewhere they can almost always be guaranteed to at least get a bite. And usually the only competition is other fishermen or women. But not in every case. Our resident pet vet, Rob Zammit, has been to investigate a war between fishermen and natural predators. The fishermen, angry that they're being beaten to the fish, have taken to using guns to get rid of the opposition.
Quiet coastal town of Narooma. Quickly becoming one of the most popular fishing areas on the New South Wales coast. On Montague Island, off the coast of Narooma, there used to be one of the largest fur seal populations on the New South Wales coast. Now, their mere presence is a contentious issue amongst the increasing number of sports fishermen. Montague Island, one of the last manned lighthouses out of nearly 40 that used to dot this coastline in years gone by. One of the tragedies of this kind of stark beauty is that sometimes people and nature don't mix. The fact is that seals are being shot. According to some fishermen, they steal their bait and drive off some of the schools of fish. The Australian fur seal is a protected species, but generally people are reluctant to talk about it.
If they were shooting them out here, they just kept going back.
They actually were shooting them, and they come back. Just shooting to scare them, or just
shooting them? Shooting them.
Yeah. Right.
They took about 4 or 5 bullets to kill one of them.
Really? That many?
Indiscriminate shooting is not an effective form of control. All the evidence I have indicates that relatively few individual seals cause the sorts of problems that fishermen complain of, such as getting into nets and tearing them open or stealing bait from cray pots. So that if control is to be effective, it should be directed at the individual animals causing the problem. Now, if a fisherman should go out to an island where seals are breeding or resting and try and fish those waters when there are many seals active and he's having problem with fish being taken off his lines, well, in a sense, he's fishing in the seal's backyard and he's asking for trouble.
If you shoot one, will the others take off, or...?
No, they'll just hang around. They'll get upset.
They just get upset?
We've had a few ram boats out there.
What from?
Like shooting. Apparently one bloke hit one.
Yeah.
It was a mother or something.
Yeah.
The other one got upset. Apparently the girl one you have to watch. And they go apeshit.
Sorry?
They go apeshit when you get upset.
Yeah.
Chasing the boat and they just grip your line apart and that.
Right.
I think it's sad and it's unnecessary because we know that the seal population in southeastern Australia is very stable. And the claims that fishermen have made in the past that there are a huge number of seals and that they are rapidly increasing in numbers and that they only eat the best quality fish, these are just not true.
Times do change and soon technology will catch up with the lighthouse on Montague Island. It's quickly becoming automated and lighthouse keepers like John Short are becoming redundant.
Yeah, it will be sad to leave the place. There's a lot of skills that were done and, you know, now they'll never be seen of again. You know, such as signal flags and the Morse code and those sort of skills that just aren't used anymore and fading into obscurity. So it is a dying profession.
Will people maintain it as a hobby?
Yeah, but you can never have the same you know, setup.
With less supervision on the island, the chances of catching anyone actually shooting fur seals are remote. But no matter what happens, we must learn to live as one with our environment.
Report from Montague Island from Rob Zammit, who is our resident pet vet. You'll be seeing more of him on TWT. We'll take a break, and after this, we're talking to John Singleton.
Something's happening in the life of a woman.
I should be very, very careful of him.
In the heart of a man.
What I'm doing now may be irrational, but I gotta do it.
In the mind of a killer.
We're pretty sure Bynum was killed by a woman.
Roy Scheider.
I know the police think you killed George Bynum.
Academy Award winner Meryl Streep.
Do you think I killed him?
Two people caught between passion and fear, reason and revenge.
If it weren't for you, George Bynum would still be alive.
Singapore Airlines presents Roy Scheider, Meryl Streep in Still of the Night. Premieres Sunday on 7.
Beautiful Galleria gourmet cookware exclusive to Woolworths supermarkets. This 1-litre saucepan is only $3.99 with one completed cash saver sheet. And a whole range of Galleria cookware is available as you save with specials like these. Barbecue and blade steak, great value at $3.99. Firm, ripe tomatoes, only 99 cents. Primo sandwich ham, $3.99. Save over 50 cents with ski yogurt, 4 for $1. And Cotty's jams down to a low $1.19 at Woolworths supermarkets, the fresh food people.
The first thing some people see in today's Nissan Vitara is room and comfort for 5. Others are captivated by Vitara's fuel-injected performance. Vitara is simply Australia's completer 2-litre sedans and wagons.
The push-button Hoover Premier can handle a whopping 5 kilos of washing. The competition can't. That's why Hoover is ahead of the rest. It's a take it nice and easy weekend feeling.
Breakfast at McDonald's. Eggs are cracking, you sit back and we'll do all the cooking. McMuffins, hotcakes, scrambled eggs too. It's the weekend thing to do. It's a good time for the great taste.
Good morning.
Great breakfast. McDonald's is cooking breakfast.
Australian politicians are a dedicated breed, devoted to the working man, always conscious of his needs. Pure and free from scandal, they really earn their pay. And question time in Canberra usually starts this way. Geez, you're hopeless, and your party's hopeless too. I don't know what this country's done to deserve a mob like you. You're a tax-evading drongo. You're a low-down lying scum. At least we got elected. What have you lot bloody done?
The voice of John Singleton, the man who'll put together the Labor Party's advertising campaign for the coming election. Now, he may sound like a knocker, but John Singleton is considered one of the sharpest advertising men in the country. He's been an anti-Labor man, an admirer of Sir Joe's, but now he reckons he's seen the light. It's a most amazing turnaround of political thinking. Some are very cynical about it. Others think he's perhaps made a very tough decision and been very strong about what he's done. I'll talk with John Singleton in a moment. He was given the Labor Party account after it was taken from the firm of Forbes McPhee Hanson, who've held it for the past 13 years. They were responsible for Labor campaigns that returned Bob Hawke on 2 occasions. And Malcolm McPhee, a partner in the company, was responsible for such slogans as "Rand's our man" and "Bringing Australia Together." And he can't understand why he lost the Labor account. Emily Booker talked with Mr McPhee and took a look at some of his previous Labor Party promotions.
If all Australians keep working with us in the national interest, every Australian will benefit.
Which Liberal Party leader would make as good a Prime Minister as Bob Hawke?
Pass.
Under the last Liberal government, unemployment more than doubled.
Rand's our man. He understands.
These are the campaigns which brought the Labor Party great success, and this was the man who ran them. For the past 13 years, Malcolm McPhee has sold the Labor Party to the electorate. But yesterday, it all ended abruptly.
I was surprised to lose the business, and I was surprised even more to see where it had gone, yes.
Well, given that John Singleton's been a harsh critic of the Labor Party in the past, do you think it's an odd choice?
Well, as I said, I was surprised, particularly as our relationship with the Labor Party has been very successful, and I think that most people would acknowledge that we've been the most skillful and successful political advertising agency in Australia.
Well, he's obviously worked his way into favour somewhere along the Labor Party lines.
It appears that's the case, yes.
Well, what do you think John Singleton's got, which you haven't?
Well, I'm not quite certain. I mean, he's a very lively and entertaining man, quite charming at times. I don't necessarily admire his style of advertising, and certainly his political advertising in the past has been interesting, but not necessarily very successful.
Malcolm McPhee, who lost the Labor Party account after 13 years, and we'll take a break, and I hope to speak with John Singleton after that.
Sunday on 7.
Where did I put my pen?
Alf loses more than his pants.
I'm naked.
He loses his memory in a riotous hour-long Alf special, recalling all the great moments of his smash hit show, like his first day on Earth, learning human ways,
Interesting concept.
meeting Lucky.
Where do you keep your casserole dishes?
Fine.
The cat won't fit in the toaster.
It's all there in Alf's first 1-hour TV special, Sunday on 7.
Only one of these cards can claim to be the world's most popular. Only one is accepted at twice as many places as the other 2 combined. Only one is issued free of charge. This one. And now only this one has credit card checks, free of normal bank fees. ANZ Visa Card. Apply now.
Here's why Volvo refer to their new 740 Turbo estate as the estate of the art. plenty of space for all the essential baggage, a beautifully designed and luxurious interior, with all the safety dynamics and engineering you'd expect from Volvo, and turbo power which gives the Volvo estate exceptional performance. Very quietly.
The Volvo 740 Turbo Estate. It's a lot more than you bargained for.
For difficult spots, the new Hoover Turbo Power comes complete with the unique burst of power switch. That's why Hoover is ahead of the rest.
When it's time to stop for that rewarding break, don't just have a snack, have a picnic. Cadbury Picnic. Crisp wafer, soft creamy caramel, tasty Rice Crisps, crunchy peanuts. It's the delicious combination that lets you have a picnic anywhere. Don't just have a break, have a Cadbury Picnic.
So, the Labor Party account has now gone to John Singleton, a man who's certainly been anti-Labor over the years, not sort of seen as someone who you would imagine as being in the same camp as the Labor people, but he is. And I talked with him earlier today. Well, John, Singo the socialist, doesn't sound right.
No, well, I don't believe I'm a socialist, Terry. I just believe that this particular election is very important this government be re-elected.
John, you said back last year on television, you said, and I'll quote you, if I was approached by the Labor or Liberal Party, doesn't matter how many zillions they offered me, I wouldn't contemplate working for either of them. Why the change?
Because I think the environment's changed tremendously, and I think the performance of this government has become so unexpected that it's not just me. So many of my friends, colleagues, peers, family, who would never have ever seen themselves as being supporters of the Labor Party now find themselves not just supporting Hawke and Keating, but doing anything in their human powers to make sure they're re-elected. Because even though a year, 2 years, 3 years, and particularly 10 or 12 years ago, I would never have seen myself as being a supporter of a Labor Party government, I believe this government has shown such courage, such strength. They've made such tremendously tough decisions to get us back on the rails. I reckon they deserve our support. And if it means that people like me have to change my mind, well, mate, that's life.
How much do the dollars have to do with changing your mind, John?
Absolutely nothing, Terry. It's a matter of record that I was offered by Joe's supporters in Queensland, approached by them months ago for many, 2 or 3 times as many dollars to work on a campaign to have a Joe and a team run for Canberra, and I wasn't attracted. The money didn't cross my mind. I thought it was an impossible dream, probably a nice dream, and I've always respected, as you know, I know Joe very well. I wished them well, but I gave Joe and I gave his supporters the reasons why I couldn't do that. Now, this is a fraction of that amount of money because of the amount of work involved and the amount of staff you have to gear up to handle it, and we haven't even discussed budgets or costs, Terry. I think there'll be nothing in it. I doubt we'll make a halfpenny out of it. I really couldn't care if it cost us money.
Is that right? You don't mind if it costs you money to help the Labor Party? You're that committed?
No, I don't mind at all. I'm not helping the Labor, not doing it for the Labor Party so much as I'm doing it for Australia. And it happens that I believe the Prime Minister we've got, Hawke, and the Treasurer, Keating, are the only 2 guys available to Australia at the moment who can lead us out of the woods and give us a fresh start.
John, one of the greatest things the Labor Party believes it has done was to introduce Medicare. And you have been, when you had your radio program, you were one of the biggest knockers of Medicare.
I think I got sacked because I knocked it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
To answer that, I have never, and I've made it clear to the Prime Minister and to the other ministers and his advisors, I don't believe in everything the Labor Party stands for or has done. And that's on the record. And Medicare is one of the things I think we could have better done without. However, for better or for worse, we do have it. There are 2 million Australians who now have medical care who, I'm advised, didn't have it before. I thought they had it through voluntary medicine anyway. But even though there are things like that and other things, Terry, you could bring up that I don't agree with, that hurt me, and I think they're unnecessary, I think that on balance, the unpopular tough decisions the Labor Party's made have been to give this country a chance to fight back. We've been on the floor, the worst is over, we've turned the corner, and even though the government's done things that I don't like, and things that have hurt me, fringe benefits, capital gains, things that have hurt us all, and things that have hurt ordinary Australians far more, that's been done. because there's no rational alternative. And I think when I hear whoever's the leader of the opposition today or tonight, or whoever the Treasurer is today or tonight, when I hear the alternatives, absolutely